this country from Bank of China at 1%, do you expect the people of Zambia to compete? If a Zambian is selling clothes with the money that he borrowed at 49%, and the Chinese is selling the same clothes with the money that he borrowed at 1%, would you expect to be cheaper? Obviously, the Chinese will be cheaper. And this is exactly what has happened to push out all the Zambians and the Asians of Zambians of Asian origin from retail business. And then you can go as head of state to say you have got a talent of complaining. We have created an enabling environment for you to get yourselves out of poverty. If you have failed to govern, the best you can do is to resign. But I'll forgive President Edgar Lungu because he doesn't know what it takes to be in business. He doesn't know what it takes to make money because he has made money from commissions, corruption, and theft within 2 years. So he doesn't know what it means to work for money in business. There is no way that anybody, even if you talk about foreign investors, you cannot break even or make profits within 2 years. The only things that are making President Lungu rich with his surrogates is the deals. For instance, look, you go and take Ratsa, you give it to Ramis, and we are told within the first 6 months they have made 14 million kwacha in 6 months, which 14 million they will have to share 7 million to Ramis and 7 million to the government because of those speed cameras. Same people that you are saying you've created an enabling environment are the people that are paying those fees as a result of those cameras, which have been highly priced. How would you say charge 300 kwacha for overspeeding when people that you are charging that 300 kwacha, their take-home pay is 1.2 to about 2.5? That's what civil servants earn. Then you go and tease them that stop complaining, you've got a talent of complaining. Alabalungu, corruption, upupu, but I'm advising you, my brother, watch your tongue. Respect the people that you govern. Stop teasing the poor people. And for you, the people of Zambia, I've always said, and I want to say it again, Ikangalilele fibi no mumemo kumpulo. Please, people of Zambia, start getting upset. Start getting agitated by these leaders who don't mean well. Leaders who can come and tease you because they've made so much money. They don't even know what it takes to make that money. To tell you that you've got a talent of complaining. Let Lungu also tell us what that got. We know his talent is theft, corruption, and deals. So if you've got a talent of theft, corruption, and deals, it's easy for you to make money and pull yourself out of poverty with your children and with your entire family. But the people of Zambia are not thieves, Your Excellency. So have respect for them. You cannot tease them after you have stolen from them. It's not fair. It's not fair. The same people, they grow maize to try and put themselves out of poverty. To produce 1 bag of maize, they are spending about 70,000, about 80,000 kwacha. You go and buy the bag of maize from them at 70,000 kwacha. Then you go and tease them. And stop complaining. You have got a talent of complaining. Pull yourselves out of government. It's not Boma Ilanganepo. please, our president, sometimes you should watch what you say. It's not a question of just saying whatever comes your way, you make a pronouncement. Let us analyze what we want to tell the people. This is very sad for Zambia. I feel sad that the head of state, who has accumulated so much money, so much property, so much buildings for himself and his family, can go and tease the poor people that pay the taxes that they've got a talent of complaining. It is not right. We also want to ask you, Your Excellency, you announced austerity measures. When are we going to see the result of these austerity measures? And by the way, out of all the fictitious, fake austerity measures that you've given the people of Zambia, we want to know how much you have saved from those austerity measures. What is your target? How much money do you intend to save? Because we are not seeing any austerity measures. How can you, as a government, send the vice president to Turkey with cadres paid for by taxpayers' money? We saw provincial youth chairmen, we saw provincial chairmen, we saw ordinary cadres. We saw Mr. Antonio Mwanza, we saw Mumbipiri on a government trip to Turkey amidst austerity measures. Are we serious as a government? Are we serious as a government? So before you start teasing the people of Zambia, please, even the Bible provides that why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, leaving a plank in your own eye? Do unto others what you want others to do unto you. I think ukwangasho utungulushi in this country, kwa chilamu, ukukasa wala, kwani paman sansa. Do you know paman sansa? Ukubuta. You can't run a country kwat kubuta, kwat fisela, where the head of state can just issue any statement as he deems fit without looking at the repercussions and the implications of those statements. And the Zambian people are waiting. What is the fate of the ZAF commander? When I told the people of Zambia that this man is just a sacrificial lamb, they're treating him with kid gloves. They don't mean to arrest him or do something bad. It's just a sacrificial lamb. Some people are even laughing at me. I don't know if it's a dead nation that I misused the word. I knew what I was talking about. I didn't mean a sacred cow. I meant that they just want to show that they are punishing, when in actual fact they are not punishing him, treating him with kids' gloves. That's what I meant when I said it's a sacrificial lamb. It is a sacred cow. I know the difference between a sacred cow and a sacrificial lamb. But we want to know what is what the anti-corruption is still doing about this corruption. We know what has happened in the Air Force. The 5 helicopters that were bought were overpriced. The deal of that land which has been given in New Kasama, the purchase of uniforms at 62 million kwacha, when those uniforms could cost 11 million. We want to know. We are not going to sit idle and just leave these things die a natural death. But you should know that we are taking stock of everything that is happening. And when the day to Rencon comes, we Nazalila. We Nazalila. And let me make it very clear here that I have not forgiven Amos for accusing me of having killed people, for accusing me of having killed people. I will forgive him for accusing me of being HIV positive because my records are there to see at UTH. And by the way, I lastly took my HIV test at UTH, I think 3 weeks ago, and the results are there. So I would not mind about him talking about the HIV, but for him to accuse me of having killed people, let me state that I've instructed my lawyers, and the lawyers have written the Director of Public Prosecution so that we can prosecute Amos for criminal libel, so that he can justify where I killed those people, because that is a very, very serious statement, a denting statement. And I'm so shocked that a man at State House can have a record of me having killed people, and they've left me roam the streets without being arrested. I have never been questioned for killing people, and I challenge anybody in Wansha, if there's anybody I've beaten with the iron bars who is lame, to come out in the open and say Chishimbakam will beat me with the iron with the steel and I am lame. Because you can't just wake up and make that kind of allegations without substantiating them. I want him to be taken on because the civil matter is taking too long. So I want him to be taken through the criminal procedure so that he can go and justify how I killed people, how I killed Kasimbaya, because he seems to know. So I have not forgiven him on that score. I have forgiven him for the insults, calling me a dog, but I cannot forgive him for saying I killed people. That he has to justify, or he has to apologize and withdraw that statement. Without apologizing personally to me, Mumbipiri is misleading the people that it's done and dusted. The matter is still very alive. And Mumbipiri is not my spokesperson to speak for me, that can be apologized and Amos apologized, so it is done and dusted. No, Mumbipiri, you may be Amos's spokesperson. You are not my spokesperson. And please stop talking on my behalf. Amos has to go to court unless he withdraws and personally apologizes to me. And for my brother Edgar, it is clear. Because the world over, such insults openly by a person who works at State House cause for one to be dismissed. They are not always about it. But it shows that you are the one who sent him to insult me. You are the one who sent him to be belittling the people who are HIV positive, which is unfortunate. But I will not be surprised, because for Lungu, everybody who works with him can never be, action can never be taken against them. One, Chomba still remains with forged PhD certificates. He claims to be a double PhD. Up to now, he's still referred to as Bishop Dr. Chomba, when we all know that he has forged certificate. But the president found it very easy to go and dismiss the teachers who were caught with fake certificates. Two, all the ministers who have been mentioned in the Financial Intelligence Center report, none of them have been to task by President Lungu. He has not taken any action. All the lawyers who were mentioned in that report, and we know these are the lawyers now who are, when you say anything about Lungu, they are the first ones to answer in the newspaper. And we know what they've done based on financial intelligence unit. So this is a man who cannot take action against people as long as they are eating with him, as long as he's doing deals with them. Because what Amos did, he cannot continue in that position. Because it clearly shows there is no integrity in that office. There is no integrity at State House. Posterity will judge President Edgar Lungu very, very harshly. Because these are the manners that they are teaching the young people. And Mayowa Sumaili, Minister of Religion, you've been quiet not even to condemn. And by the way, this woman is my sister. But I'm so shocked that she has decided to be quiet over the insults by Amos, because she's scared of burning her fingers. She's scared of being fired. I hope and trust that you will not condemn anybody who you insult in this country. And please, stop teasing the people of Zambia by Lungu coming to Parliament and talk about morals. For me, from today onwards, when President Edgar Lungu comes to Parliament to talk about morals, I'll walk out. I'll walk out until he takes action against Amos. You cannot have two sets of rules for those who are in the ruling party and for the ordinary people and the opposition. This country must observe the rule of law. And this country must respect every Zambian, regardless of which political divine. Under normal circumstances, a government which cares for the farmers should have distributed the inputs by now. But if you cannot distribute inputs by end of August, when are you going to distribute them? And this is a problem with President Edgar Lungu. President Edgar Lungu has no solutions to the problems of everybody, including the farmers. He's quoted in the newspaper saying inputs will be distributed early. Which early are you talking about? Because this is the right time. This is the time to distribute the inputs. By end of October, under normal circumstances, the seed and the D compound must be in the hands of the farmers. But if you cannot have the seed and the D compound in the hands of the farmers, today is 29th, when will you distribute the inputs? So I'm urging Walungu not to just be talking, but take action. Look at the way he behaved when he went to Chingola. You know, when in Zambia sometimes, umuntu is a failure, and his failures are actually as a result of patronage, corruption, and wanting to collect money from the investors. How can a president of a country, go to Chingola while addressing the people in Chingola? They tell him, Your Excellency, here we have a problem with KCM. One, they don't pay their employees, they don't pay the suppliers, the economy of the town has completely come to a standstill. We need your help. Then the president goes, you must petition your ministers in written. What a president. What a president. The president is the alpha and omega of the administration of the country. How can you refer the matter back to a minister? Because when President Lungu was in Chingola, what I expected, he should have said, thank you very much, I'll go into KCM plant and I'll speak to him. And he should have gone immediately, call a meeting with the management and tell them, can you pay the employees? Can you pay the suppliers? Now he tells the people, no, you should petition your ministers in written. But I've told the people of Zambia that the man was not prepared to be president. The man does not know anything. Look at Chambish, the problems that we have. Chinese at Chambish are the lowest paid mines in this country. The complaint that we have from Chambish, from the Chinese mines, is the treatment of workers, no proper protective clothing or PPP, which is personal protective equipment, low salaries. He goes to Chambish to open that mine. He just goes to praise the Chinese without taking an opportunity. That should have been a good opportunity for the president to say, I have heard that you people here, you treat our people, that you people here pay low salaries, you people here insult our people. I want to warn you that this must come to an end. He was quiet about these issues. Then do you expect this man to sort out your problems? Do you ever expect this man to sort out your problem? So you can see for yourself that so it's up to you. When I'm saying this, I have decided to put my head on the chopping board to tell these people off because of their mistakes. I've ended up being arrested, my business is being destroyed, but you, the people that we are talking for, you don't want to take action as Zambians. Please, Zambia. Civil society, where are you? The church, where are you? And this brings me to another issue. You can see that this thing, so-called national dialogue, is not genuine. If it is genuine, why is President Lungu insisting that it must be the ZCID to lead the process and not the church? Because ZCID is funded by Lungu, by the government. He's able to tell them 10 left, 10 right. And you know the people who are in ZCID are all surrogates of the PF government. By virtue of the fact that President Lungu has come out to say that he will close the door for the church if they don't want to join the ZCID-led dialogue, it simply means it does not mean well. They have said already what they want to achieve. And for me, I will not support, for me and the NDC, we will not support dialogue that will be spearheaded by ZCID. ZCID should allow individual political parties to participate in the dialogue that is going to be led by the church. That is the dialogue that NDC and Shimbakambwili will recognize. This dialogue of President Lungu and ZCDI, they can take it to State House, because already he has shown us that it doesn't mean well. And you can see this man. When it matters, when it suits him, let us have national prayers, the three mother bodies. When it doesn't suit him, no, I'll go to ZCID. The church must. Come on. Alomuntu abufi. Now, even in English, they say, lies have got very short legs. You can see he's now exposing himself. Let him even cancel that September holiday for national prayers, because this man does not respect the church. There was no ZCID when the church brokered peace between Kaunda and MMD. There was no ZCID when the church led the talks during the Mwanawasa time. What is so special about ZCID? Because he has told them, we must go and do this, we must produce a report in this manner so that we can show the world. I mean, it's a PF agenda that has been agreed upon. I want to urge the church to insist that ZCID is a composition of political parties. Let them come and participate in the dialogue as individual political players and not as ZCID. And the talks must be led by the church. We have a lot of respect for the church. Don't use the church when it fits you. Today is even telling people, as a PF government, we are humble leaders. We are a humble government. Humble. I've never heard of a thief who is humble. Who appreciates a thief anyway? Umuntu uyisa mkukwivila utala kwe but nali humble. God forbid. And by the way, abuse of authority is an offense under the Anti-Corruption Act. Who has given this boy who lives here next to me a private secretary to the president? Private secretary to the president is below a permanent secretary, a house of a minister. This boy who lives here, what is his name? Siwo. Is related to Lungu, and he has been given a position at State House as private secretary. For the first time in the history of this country, a private secretary lives in a ministerial house free of charge. That is abuse of authority of the worst kind. I want to find out from Works and Supply who allocated CEO this house, because these houses are for ministers. The only people who are allocated these houses apart from ministers from time immemorial are service chiefs. But today, a private secretary to the president is living in a ministerial house. This house here, I think number 5, the Wanika Close. A very junior civil servant living because it's related to Lungu when ministers are renting houses. I know of about 4 or 5 ministers that government is renting houses. Renting houses as much as 15,000 to 20,000 a month when one house has been given to Lungu's relative who is a private secretary. I don't even know how he was employed as a private secretary. And the next house, that's where Lungu used to live when he was minister. Go and check. He parks a lot of vehicles there. Vehicles that he has earned through corruption. There are a lot of vehicles in that yard. That house also, only his relative lives in there. What kind of a president do we have? Who can do things with impunity, without respect for the rules? Al-Shama. President Lungu Al-Shama. Ishamo Talshala. Chachi Nenoko Kalola. Ukayana Lyo. Because these things you are doing, you are inviting problems for yourself. Permanent secretaries are renting houses. Senior civil servants are renting houses. You go and give a private secretary vehicles parked outside. I don't know if it is a center of dues. I don't understand. Thank you very much.